What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Thomas and I'm jumping on here to show you some Purrely Fiendsmith test hands, my thought process around decision making, when and where to activate certain effects, and just an all-around quick little guide on how to play the deck. Now, I'm not an expert, I'm not the best, but this is going to give you a foundation to then develop your own skills and hit the ground running when it comes to playing at locals. I preference doing it this way because I don't like the idea of just drawing the best 5 cards and showing you that. I think it's better if you see drawing 5 cards and what we can do with those 5 cards. So here you can see we've got a couple of quick play spells, My Friend and a Summon, as well as an interaction card. So because we've specifically drawn Sleepy Memory, between Sleepy and Pretty, we can actually activate these in the draw or the standby phase because we don't require a target on the field. So always doing that, we'll play around this big fella, which is in everyone's deck at the moment. So with the knowledge of that and the cards in our hand, we will stay in the standby phase. We will activate Sleepy Memory to not take any battle or effect damage the first time this turn. And then we can discard to summon from deck. So unless they have Ash, this will get away pretty free. Now, because we're going first, we are just going to discard our Droll and Lockbird because we are going to try and draw when we can, and these are all still very active and live for us during our first turn. So we discard to summon. Now, we have My Friend in hand, so when we're summoning, we're going to have Sleepy in the grave, so we want to have a Lily that can't be targeted. So we're going to summon Lily from the deck here, and we're going to prioritize accessing the Sleepy. So we summon our Lily in the draw phase. On summon, it affects triggers to add a Purrely card that is not a quick play. So that leaves us options of Street, it leaves us options of any of the Purrely monsters, or My Friend, or the trap, being Yeep. When I find it, that's the wrong card, or Yeep. Okay, so out of those options, these two are from my hand, we're going to grab the Street to protect ourselves from targeting on the turn of our special summon Purrely monsters. So we then move to main phase, and we will start by activating our copy of Stray Purrely Street. Now, this was special summon this turn, so your opponent cannot target it. Just insulating ourselves and protecting ourselves in our first turn. From here, we will activate My Friend, but we're not going to pay the 500 yet, we just want it on the field. We will then activate Lily's effect, targeting our copy of Sleepy to rank up into our E-Purrely Noir. Now, for those that don't know, and I expect most of you will, that the spells have to rank up into their relevant monster. So Sleepy makes Noir, Happy makes Happiness, and we have Beauty from Pretty, and Plump from Delicious. Okay, just for those that didn't know that one. So now that we're here, we've got the foundations of our turn. We can still do some things. We'll start by going Happy Memory as an option here. We have to choose a card on the field, so we're going to choose a copy of Street to protect ourselves. Now, Street is very important at the end of every end phase. That's yours, that's your opponent's. Every end phase, you can take a Purrely quick play spell from your graveyard or your deck and attach it to a Purrely Xyz monster as material. Do not forget this. Super, super important. So, with that information, Happy Memory protects the first time from destruction once until the end of the next turn. Okay, not the end of this turn, the next turn, so your opponent's turn. So, remembering that, we're going to protect our Street. Okay, so Happy Memory, Chainlink 1. Your opponent doesn't respond, we go Noir, Chainlink 2 to absorb this, and then we can set a trap from deck. So then we resolve the chain backwards, we absorb. We set our trap. We then resolve our Happy Memory, choosing our copy of Street. Okay, we can then discard to summon from deck if we wish. So just having a think here. We've still got a normal summon, but remember, we don't want a normal summon. Okay, we don't like normal summoning. We have Street. So we do choose to discard to summon from deck. We're going to summon our copy of Purrely. Purrely's effect on summon will trigger, which excavates the top 3 cards of our deck. Add a Purrely spell or trap. So we're shuffling. We present to our opponent to cut. And then we trigger Purrely's effect, excavating top 3. Doesn't pay to gamble, we miss. Doesn't matter. Does not matter. This is what we're focusing on. We've got our rank up, we've got our sleepy, we've got our street, and my friend. We can pay 500 life points here, reveal 3 Purrely cards. We still haven't done that yet. We will reveal, and again, it really doesn't matter, we've been allowed to do what we're here to do. Double delicious and a sleepy, doesn't matter, roll a dice. For the sake of the argument, pick that one. Never punished. So this is now in hand. We'll activate it. Chain. We don't have a second trap to set. It doesn't matter. No cards in hand to discard. Doesn't matter. We want as many material under this as possible. We'll then go to the end phase. We'll trigger our street to equip. We've both got both copies of Sleepy under there. So we don't need that. So we're going to take a Delicious to give it as much defense as possible so our opponent cannot just swing over it. Now remember, this is a towers. Once it has more than 5 materials, it is unaffected, but they can still beat over it in battle. So we don't want to leave this guy with low defense. We want to get a Delicious under there so we can defend ourselves and we don't have to use our resources. Okay, the turn has passed. It's now our opponent's turn. So they've cut our deck. We've got 2 copies of Sleepy Memory under this Noir here. So in their standby phase, we trigger this 1 copy of Sleepy to draw 1 card. Okay. Again, as a new effect, draw 1 card for the second copy of Sleepy. If you've got both copies of Sleepy under this, you must chain the trap. Okay. Effect, resolve, draw 1. Effect, chain to rank up. Alright? So here, if you don't chain, you're passing priority back to your opponent, they'll move out of the phase. Okay? So then we're ranking up here, resolving the chain. We draw our second one. That's the second copy from the original Noir. New monster means new set of effects. Effect to draw 1 more card because it's now an Purrely Noir. We draw 1 card. Effect to draw 1 more card. We've just had 4 draws in our opponent's standby phase. Unfortunately, no hand traps. It is what it is. It's the luck of the draw. They'll then play their turn. We have a 6 material Noir that's unaffected. It was summoned this turn, so it cannot be targeted this turn. And it has massive defense. Okay, they can't punch over it. They can't target it, and it's unaffected. They can do what they like with this. It's in defense mode, doesn't really matter. If they do happen to out this, Kaiju, for example, we then trigger these 2. So let's say they Gamma Seal this, right? They Gamma Seal or Lava Golem. Let's say they Lava Golem and get rid of absolutely everything. It's all gone. We go mandatory chain link 1, optional chain link 2. This will add back 3 Purrely quick play spells with different names back to our hand. We target those 3. They come back to our hand. Alright? And then option number 1, chain resolving, we special summon a Purrely monster from the grave or the deck. So considering we've got lots of quick play spells in our hand, my thought process here would be to summon a Lily, and its effect on someone would trigger, adding a Purrely card that is not a quick play from our deck to our hand. So future planning, right? They've just Kaiju'd us. They could potentially go to battle phase. Let's just pretend that's the Kaiju. Right, that's the Kaiju. That's Lava Golem. Okay. Let's say they have the capacity. Now remember, this is still protected once. So let's say they get rid of this. That's their thought process. They're going to pop that with some sort of capacity. So with this, we're going to grab another copy of My Friend to set ourselves up for next turn. Right? Whoops. So that's there. Now, even if they do happen to get rid of our street, they pop it, it's protected, they pop it again, it goes, they wipe our board, everything's gone, the turn comes back to us. Look at our hand. Activate this, pay 500, grab another copy of the street, and you've just got Fiendsmith as well. You've got full capacity to go. So from here, what I'm going to show you, let's say they've cleared the board and this is your opening hand, into turn 3, after they've just cleared your board, you've got access to Fiendsmith. And a lot of people really struggle with, you know, oh, I've got too many options, what do I do, what do I do? So here it is. Again, Purrely's all about control. Control, control, control. Starting our turn with Dark Ruler no more, depending on their board. Again, I can't comment on the niche things. We're not playing against someone. We are test hand. We're goldfishing. We Dark Ruler. Again, we don't want to kill them this turn. That's not our goal. We want to control. So we Dark Ruler, they can't respond. We'll then discard Engraver to add. Starting off with the Fiendsmith stuff. When I find the tract, of course, it's the last card there. Activate tract to add and discard. Adding and discarding. Lurry's effect to summon. And then you just go full Fiendsmith, right? So Fiendsmith, we Lurry into Requiem. We wait for our opponent to respond to the summon. If they do not, we quick effect to summon from deck. Our Lacrima on summon to send from deck to grave a Fiendsmith monster. Engraver. Alright. From here, my thought process would be to equip our Lacrima with our Requiem first. If they have any graveyard interaction, they're going to use it in this sequence, and this insulates your ability to pivot into a Desiree if needed, okay? If you go to summon the Engraver and they get rid of it, or they hit this, game over, right? So always Requiem equipped to Lacrima, because you've guaranteed Necro equip now. That's your guaranteed level 6. You then will trigger Engraver to summon by shuffling back the Lurry. From here, you make your Necro equip Princess. Here. 2 level 6s, you'll overlay into High King Caesar. I preference this because it insulates you against Nibiru. It also stops any sort of effect of summoning a monster on their turn, so it's great. Not once per turn, not once per chain. Alright, still got lots of cards in hand. So from here, lots of options. We activate My Friend. Paying 500 life points, revealing 3 cards, picking one at random, adding it to my hand. We're going to go, we're looking for Street. So we'll reveal 2 copies of Street and 1 copy of something else. For the argument's sake, we're just going to say the dice has been lucky to us, we've grabbed the Street. Bit of randomness here, we're going to activate the Street. All of a sudden, we're in a really commanding position. Again, we're not going to try and kill them this turn, that's not the goal. Not the goal at all. We have used our trap. The goal here, for me, would be to make Purrely plump. Okay? So how do we do that? What's in our grave? 1, 2, 3 cats. So if we special summon a Purrely, that's my goal. Because it can use this from hand to make plump. So let's go Sleepy Memory. Option to discard to summon. Summon a Purrely. Right? Our opponent's going to excavate top 4. We're going to excavate top 3 as its effect. We're going to hit. Always take that. Fodder for discard. We then trigger the effect of Purrely to use this card in hand as material to rank up. So each Purrely has their own effect, right? Lily will target in the grave. Purrely will target in the hand. Purrely's not once per turn. Lily is hard once per turn. Make plump. Okay. Plump's effect will trigger, targeting 2 quick effect, 2 spells or traps in either grave. Remember, it's either grave, right? So I always look at their grave. If they've got stuff they can use to recur and build themselves back up, prioritize that. Again, we're trying to control the game. Draws, not a priority right now. If they've got spells and traps in their grave that they can use to interact with you moving forward, or this turn, or next turn, take them. Take them away. Remove their resources. I'm going to take our 2 spells. Pop them under there. We now have a 4-map plump. We can make it a 5-map plump. Happy. Chain. Banish a monster till the end phase. Doesn't matter. That's the option. Chaining plump. It absorbs the material, and then you can banish 1 monster on their field until the end phase. Think about it. Sometimes it's not worth doing that. Again, we want as many materials under this as possible. Happy. Choosing. Chaining plump to absorb. Right? So now, these are both protected from the first time of destruction once until the end of the next turn. This now has more than 5 materials, so that means we can overlay into our second copy of Noir without using the trap. And for those that don't know, with the trap, at the end of the next turn after this is summoned, the monster goes back to the extra deck. So you'd be forced to make a Zeus if your Noir was still in the field at the end of this turn. Because we're hard making the Noir, no longer need to do that. Okay, so this is dead in hand, doesn't really matter. This is over here. That was a mistake. From here, you can swing with Caesar if you want, depending on what they've got on the field. And I would then end phase street to equipped. Right? Massive Noir here, huge. Get a couple of draws out of him, because we've got 2 sleepies underneath. And you've just got a commanding position. Always prioritizing leaving at least 5 materials under this, so then it cannot be it is still unaffected. But you've got the capacity in the end phase again because of this to continue to remove things from their field and interact with them as needed. You're going to get a couple of draws. Not the best, but is what it is, right? Remembering when you do opt to detach 2 materials from your Noir to target 1 card on the field or in the grave to put on the bottom of your opponent's deck, never detach your Purrely monster until it is the last 2 you're detaching. If you remove your Purrely monster, you can no longer use this as a quick effect. Okay? That's how that needs to be. So, that is my thought process around how to play Purrely going first, and sort of just commanding the gameplay, controlling the field, and managing your opponent's resources as well as managing your own. Keeping, you know, as many cards in hand and in rotation as possible. Something else I'll comment on is remembering the trap. Once it's in the grave, you can banish it to target up to 3 Purrely monsters, and that includes the Xyz, to shuffle them back into the deck, right? So if they try to Bestial this, or they try to Diddy Crow this, or whatever, chain the trap in your opponent's turn, target 3, spin them back, it fizzles, they can't trigger it again. So that's something else to consider, is the trap. Okay. Other things to consider, I think we've sort of covered everything. In an instance where we were just talking about this turn, you've Dark Ruler no more, you would not make this unless you have the capacity to kill. Again, not under Dark Ruler no more, that's for sure. But that's it, guys. Let me know if you like this kind of video. If you want more of it, I can definitely do more. But I hope this gives you a little bit of a thought process and understanding of the deck. I know it's not a long one, but it's a good one. And yeah, we'll see you all in the next one. Peace.